on a snowy mountaintop. Welcome to Earthly Reads, a My Cup of Earth production. I'm thrilled to share with you a brand new children's story, specially crafted for young adventurers like you. On a snowy mountaintop, where the air was crisp and the sky was a brilliant blue, a tiny, fluffy rabbit named Luna lived in a cozy little burrow. She loved to snuggle up in her soft, warm bed of dried grass and listen to the snowflakes gently falling outside her home. Luna's burrow was nestled at the foot of a towering pine tree, its branches heavy with the weight of snow. The rabbit loved to gaze up at the tree, watching the snowflakes dance and swirl around its boughs like 1,000 tiny ballerinas. One day, as Luna was busy munching on a particularly succulent clover, she heard a faint rustling in the underbrush. She peeked out of her burrow to see a small, shy-looking fox peeking back at her. The fox's name was Finley, and he was new to the mountain. He had wandered away from his family's den in search of adventure, and the snow-covered peaks had seemed like the perfect place to explore. Luna and Finley quickly became the best of friends. They spent their days playing in the snow, building snowmen, and having snowball fights. Luna loved to use her quick paws to scoop up snow and pack it into perfect little balls, while Finley was a master at hiding behind the trees and surprising her with a well-aimed snowball. As the days passed, Luna and Finley grew closer and closer. They would often curl up together in Luna's burrow, listening to the snowfall and sharing stories of their adventures. One evening, as the sun began to set, Luna and Finley decided to go on a special expedition. They had heard rumors of a hidden waterfall deep in the mountains, and they were determined to find it. The two friends set off, trudging through the deep snow and climbing over icy rocks. The air grew colder and the wind began to howl, but they pressed on, undeterred. At last, after what seemed like hours of walking, they came to a clearing, and there, in the center of the clearing, was the most magnificent sight Luna and Finley had ever seen. A sparkling waterfall cascading down a rocky face, sending plumes of mist high into the air. The two friends stared in awe, their breath misting in the cold air. They had never seen anything so beautiful in their lives. As they gazed up at the waterfall, they heard a faint rustling in the bushes. They turned to see a wise old owl perched on a nearby rock, watching them with wise, knowing eyes. "Who are you?" Luna asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "I am Professor Hootenanny," the owl replied in a soft, rumbling voice. "I have been watching you two from afar, and I must say, I am impressed. You have shown great courage and determination in your quest for adventure." Professor Hootenanny fluttered down from his rock and approached the two friends. "I have a special gift for you," he said, producing a small, intricately carved wooden box from his wing. Luna and Finley exchanged curious glances. What could be inside the box? Professor Hootenanny opened the box, revealing a tiny, glowing crystal nestled in a bed of soft, white fur. "This is a magic crystal," he explained. "It will grant you each a single wish. But be warned, the wishes must be made with a pure heart and a true intention." Luna and Finley looked at each other, their eyes shining with excitement. They had never made a wish before, but they knew exactly what they wanted to ask for. Luna, being the more thoughtful of the two, wished for the ability to help her fellow creatures on the mountain. She wanted to use her quick paws and clever mind to assist those in need, and to make the mountain a happier, more harmonious place. Finley, being the more mischievous of the two, wished for a never-ending supply of snowballs. He loved nothing more than a good snowball fight, and he knew that with an endless supply, he would never have to worry about running out again. Professor Hootenanny nodded his head in approval. "Your wishes are granted," he said, closing the box and tucking it into his wing. And with that, The three friends set off back down the mountain, their hearts full of joy and their spirits lifted by the magic of the crystal. From that day on, Luna used her newfound powers to help those in need, and Finley spent his days building the most magnificent snow fort the mountain had ever seen. And whenever they looked up at the waterfall, they would remember the wise words of Professor Hootenanny, that true magic comes from the heart, and that with a pure intention and a true wish, anything is possible. The end. I hope you enjoyed this brand new children's story. Don't forget to follow us on social media for more exciting tales and adventures. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.